Yay! Hi guys! I first want to say thank you for joining me for this video wherever you are in the universe. Thank you. I want to kind of just give you a quick little video on what I do, what is this coaching thing, how I got started, my story leading up to it, and what a normal day looks like for me. And so my name is obviously Ashley Feldison. I am from a little teeny tiny town in upstate New York. I grew up wanting to be a teacher my entire life. I never once changed my mind based on what I wanted to do for a living. And so when I was learning how to read and write in first kindergarten, first and second grade, read, write, and cursive, I would always bring those things home to my mentally challenged uncle, who my mom has taken care of since the day I came home from the hospital. And that's where my passion for leadership and mentorship and just literacy in general, just teaching in general came from. And that's always been instilled in my course from a very young age. And so all throughout elementary, middle, high school, and through college, I always wanted to be a teacher. I went to college and I got my undergrad in elementary education. And when I was in college, I met my now boyfriend of 5 years, hopefully soon to be fiance. But we actually met in high school, but we started dating in our sophomore year of college, and come graduation, we had to make the decision whether he was going to move to Rochester, New York, or I was going to pick up my life and move it to Baltimore, Maryland, where he was living, where he's born and raised. And so we had to make that decision. It kind of came down to where the teaching jobs were, and so I would have unfortunately had to sub my way through the system in Rochester, but there were an abundance of jobs in Baltimore. So I picked up my life and I moved it to Baltimore the day after graduation. I actually moved it straight into his parents' basement. And so that was a major shock for me. I hadn't lived at home since I was 17 years old. And now I went to college, I had my own apartment, and then well, how old was I? Just about to turn 21. I moved it into Tyler's parents' basement, where we shared a shower, we shared a bathroom, we shared a shower, bathroom, a kitchen, everything. We shared everything together, which, I'm so blessed to have had them open up their arms to me. But you could tell that was such a major shock in my life at that point in my life. Not only did I move straight into his parents' basement, I also fell right into a first grade teaching job. I signed right up for grad school to become a reading specialist, and I was waitressing to get by. And so it was just a lot on my plate all at once. But I was in my honeymoon stage. I fell in love with teaching right away. I had my own classroom. I was kind of like that prize child because I had so much passion. And so 6 months went by of me waking up in the morning, driving to teaching, which was 45 minutes to an hour. And then from teaching, 3 nights a week, I would go about an hour from my school to grad school. And then I would travel roughly 45 minutes to an hour home. So a lot of my day was spent commuting. And I would get home and I'd be so tired, and I'd go to bed and I'd wake up and I'd do it all over again. And it was really drying me out. And so, but I was passionate about it, but I was consistently pouring into other people. I was pouring into my first graders. I was pouring into my education. And so come January, new year, new me, right? I decided that I needed to do something about it. I needed to fill my own cup every single morning before I could be a teacher, before I could be a student, before I could be a girlfriend, a friend, a daughter. And so I did what anybody normal would do, right? I signed up for a gym. And so I found a gym smack dab in the middle of Tyler's parents' house in teaching. And I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would drive to the gym, where I would run 30 minutes, 3 miles every single morning, because I had no idea what to do other than that. I would shower there, I would get ready there, and then I would go to work. And so that lasted for about 4 weeks. And it was February. It was the first weekend in February because it was Tyler's birthday weekend. I remember laying in bed and I was scrolling on social media and I found a photo of one of my childhood friends, and it was a before and after photo. And I remember it being, it was about 42 days apart. She had just done 2 rounds of a 21-day program. And I looked at Ty and I was like, she looks like me on the left, and I crave so badly to look and feel like she does on the right. And so I approached her, I asked her about it, and she told me about a boot camp that she was running. And unfortunately, I couldn't sign up that day because I was broke. I was living paycheck to paycheck. But I rubbed my pennies together and my paycheck came on Friday, and I signed up for her boot camp. And I will tell you right now, to this day, that is the best $140 I'd ever spent in my entire life. I would go back and I would spend $500, $5,000 if I would have known the way I'd feel today, how that program changed my life, how that boot camp changed my life. And so I started pouring my passion into it. I started just pouring, I knew that if I wanted to be a better version of me, I had to work on me. And so the reason I loved the program so much was because of the simplicity. I went to the gym and I had no idea what to do. And so now it was basically my childhood friend just aligning me to a meal plan, helping me choose a workout program, and then being that support that I needed, that I craved so badly. Because when I didn't show up, she was there asking me why I didn't show up. Whereas at the gym, nobody knew if I didn't show up except for myself. And it's so easy to break promises with yourself. But it's really hard to break promises with somebody that is holding you accountable, a different person that's holding you accountable. And so my life was changed with at-home workouts and just an aligned nutrition plan. The reason I really started getting major results was because I was building knowledge on how to eat. I just never really knew how to eat. I thought in order to be healthy, I had to cut out all these food groups, which wasn't realistically sustainable for my lifestyle. But Caitlin, my childhood friend, my coach, she helped basically give me the silver platter of, you don't have to cut out anything, just based on your goals, based on, your current caloric intake. Here's the food groups and here's the amount of what you should be eating in order to hit XYZ. And so it was sustainable. It was realistic for my busy lifestyle. And that's what I needed. I needed sustainability and I needed a simplicity. And so a couple weeks went by and I was continuing to pour into my journey. And Caitlin approached me about the coaching opportunity. And she basically said, it would be silly for you not to share it. You're doing all the things that we coaches do, except you're not getting paid to do it. And so, I was like, you know what? I would love to get out of Tyler's parents' basement. Love them, but I would love to get out of Tyler's parents' basement. I would love to be able to have that cushion that teaching can't give me. I would love to just come home and have an outlet. I would love to have a support group. I would love to have this, that, another thing that in my current situation, I just didn't have. And so I said, sign me up, let's go. And so I started helping women get started the same way I got started, helping them get aligned to a meal plan, helping them get aligned to a workout plan, helping them just fall in love with their nutrition and health, but it became so much more than that. Once you do start focusing on yourself in that area, everything else starts falling into place for people. And so one life changed into 2, and 2 changed into 15, and 15 changed into 100. And all of a sudden, you're throwing your little pebble into your pile each day, and you're working on yourself, and you turn around and you've created this mountain that now I call Team Elevate. We are in the tippy top of the company. It's like, I still can't believe it, what we've accomplished so far in 3 years, but it's because we follow this thing beating inside of our chest. Because I decided to follow that thing beating inside my chest because I knew that if I could help even one other Ashley, one other busy human who needed to fill her own cup first, I knew it would be so worth it. And so take the word coaching away and just input the idea that you are going to help other yous of the world feel or unfeel the way that you felt, the way you feel today. Help them unfeel that way. And so I always get this objection from people that they're not in perfect shape, or they don't have the personality for it, or, posting on social media isn't for them. I don't want you to think that you come into this and you start throwing up all of that stuff. This is your opportunity. This is your business. This is your journey. And I don't ever want you to think that you have to hide behind the term Beachbody Coach. If you look at my social media, I never even say that I am one. More than anything, come into this, focus on yourself. And if you're one of the people saying, why would anybody take advice from me? I am not where I want to be. That's exactly why. Because you're going to show up every single day. And even in your chaos, even in your clutter, you're going to show other people what they're capable of. You're going to show up and share your story, and they're going to see themselves through your story. And that is the reason I've been successful in this business, because I'm not worried about being this perfect version of Ashley. More than anything, I'm worried about waking up and just showing the other Ashleys what they're capable of. And in turn, you're going to become the strongest version of you. The more passion you pour in, the more passion you're going to want to take out, and you're going to go to bed every single night focusing on yourself. Didn't matter if you didn't change lives that day. Didn't matter if you didn't, do anything external that day. You're going to go to bed each and every single night having focused on yourself. And that should be enough reason to start this business. Have incredible support. Go on free vacations. Literally, I tell Tyler, how in the world am I going to have 300 bridesmaids? You're going to make the very best friends on the planet. Build financial freedom. Build any type of freedom, whatever freedom looks like to you. For me, I didn't plan on quitting my job at first. For me, I had no intention of quitting my job. Down the line, I saw what I was capable of by following my heart, but that was never in my timeline. And maybe it's not for you. Maybe it is for you. Whatever freedom looks like for you. Freedom of time, freedom from a boss, freedom of living paycheck to paycheck, freedom of having to say no to your kids, freedom of whatever it looks like for you. I just want you to know that this opportunity will bring that to you, whatever freedom looks like. And I'm going to kind of leave you off with one last thing, is that when I was teaching and I was pouring out of my cup each and every single day and never pouring back into it, I was living in this sheltered hut where I never dreamed. I was not a dreamer. I was waking up, I was going through the actions, I was going to bed. I was waking up, going through the actions, and I was going to bed. Yes, I was passionate about my job. Yes, I was excited to grow my education, but it was very simple and I wasn't dreaming bigger. I would have like this idea of a dream wedding, this idea of a dream house, this idea of, dream vacations, dream honeymoons, whatever it looked like for me. But I knew that I would never be able to get there. One, maybe unless I married rich, or two, unless I had a job change. But for me in my life as a 22-year-old teacher, I just was not dreaming until this opportunity came into my life. It allowed me to dream a little bit bigger. A lot of it bigger. And now 3 years into this business, growing complete financial freedom, in the best shape of my life, living just like my relationship with Tyler is so much better because we're free. We're just free of stress, free of, financial burden, free of any type of stress in our lives because we're continuously focusing on ourselves. And because I wake up every single morning and do that, it's poured over into his cup and he's waking up and doing that same thing. Just freedom. And whatever that looks like for you, you have the ability to accomplish it. Okay, if you have any questions for me, I love questions. Questions mean that you're learning, and I love to help people learn. I was a teacher. But send me any questions that you have, and I want to thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Bye.